question I see a lot from Ravens fans anywhere on the internet is should the Ravens add to their edge rushers? Whether it's bringing back a guy like Jadeveon Clowney, Zadarius Smith, Matt Judon, so on and so forth. And while there are some pretty decent names still available for the, outside linebacker to DN position, I think the Ravens are fine. Because, of course, you have Odafe Owe, Kyle Van Noy leading the charge. Then you have Tavius Robson, who's been there for a couple years, who's playing really well. And then you have Mike Green, their second-round pick from this year's class, which he's going to be on the team. Adisa Isaac, who they drafted last year, who dealt with injuries, but from what I've been reading from people who have been viewing a lot of the practices and the Ravens Lounge podcast and so on, Adisa Isaac looks pretty good, and I'm going to hope that he takes that next step and to see why the Ravens drafted him in the third round last year and why he'll work again this year. And yes, the big question is David Ojabo, is what's going to happen with him. He's been dealing with injuries. He hasn't really played a whole lot, and they took him really high a couple years ago. But I think the big thing, and I've said this a million times, and I'm going to say it a million more, at least for fans, because I can't speak on the organization or anything like that, is patience. As Ravens fans, it feels like a lot of fans have lost patience with players, especially younger players, because they may see other teams either within the division, the conference, or just the NFL overall have players who are younger who explode immediately, and they're like, well, why isn't it happening to us? It's like, it does happen, you just don't recognize it when it does happen sometimes, because you only focus on the guys who you want to work, and it may not for whatever the reason, but eventually it can. And we've seen that many of times where guys are undrafted for the Ravens, they go super late, and after a couple years, they're starters, or they're at least good rotational players. I think the same goes here. Unless someone gets injured, then they want to bring in someone, then I totally understand. But I think for who they have on the roster right now and how things are going, we're good on edge rushers. We're good. I think the team is stacked. I think the talent is the highest we've seen it in a decent amount of time. And I'm very excited for what the young guys mixed with the veterans is going to bring to this defense this upcoming season. Plus, you still have the guys on the D-line like Broderick Washington, Travis Jones, Matt Abike. You have Peebles, who they drafted, John Jenkins, who they brought in free agency. So the team is stacked. I genuinely believe this defense will be a lot better than what we saw in like the first half to close to second half of last season. And we're going to see a major change this year, especially on that edge rusher side. So everyone be patient. Give these guys another chance. Give them a chance at all. And let's see how things go.